Can you cast lay on hands on my dick?
No. I think I'm done playing D&D now.
You wouldn't need hands. You'd only need finger, honestly. Let's be
Finger?
honest.
What are you trying to say?
I could hold it just with my pointer.
Well, I mean, you could
Really?
just hold
For
any
me, it's
dick with a
pinky.
pointer, really.
Full coverage.
Full coverage. Okay. Well, I've started recording, so that's great.
Beautiful.
Welcome,
beautiful.
everyone, to the final installment of our Pride series, because today is the last Tuesday of the month that we would normally have already uploaded an episode, but Matt and I were both very busy, so you'll be getting this episode later in the week. But right now, it is June 29th at 8:44 p.m.
Listen.
And wait,
Oh.
I'm joined first by some fag named Matt, but more importantly, we're all blessed to be in the presence of true royalty. Jackie is joining us again for another episode of the podcast. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Jackie.
Hi.
How are you?
I am just fabulous. How are you two beautiful people?
Can I just say, I can't believe Pat decided to hate crime me at the beginning of this episode during Pride.
You know what? I will say, I think I kicked that one off by naming our chat with facts.
No.
So I will say.
Yeah.
Listen.
Anywho, quickly, we're gonna get into our last hurrah, because when July rolls around, all gay is illegal again.
Yep. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
I didn't know that's how that works.
No, the police are actually authorized to shoot you.
Yeah, a few of them were actually a bit too early in New York City and started pepper spraying us on Pride, but that was one of them. He jumped the gun. He got a little too excited and pepper sprayed a couple people.
Trigger happy, you know.
Which was unfortunate. Do you know that Anthony was so sweet? He texted me and he's like, "Hey, are you okay? I heard like police were pepper spraying people in, I think, Washington Square Park or something in New York City." I was like, "Oh, thank you, sweetie. I'm like furious." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I understand. You know, cops doing this is awful." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm furious about something else, but also about this because I had no idea that it had happened."
I had no idea that this happened.
I didn't know this happened until you just said it.
Yeah,
it did. I saw a video on it on TikTok afterwards as well. I only saw bits and pieces of it, so I don't know the whole story. But yeah, some cop was just kind of going like this, and people were walking by getting hit with it.
Yeah, why were they pepper sprayed?
I think he meant to be using an air horn in support of Pride, and he was
and then he sprays people. He's like, "No, oops, I prematurely sprayed something else.
I prematurely shot my wad."
Anyway,
so
yeah, we've had some great Pride episodes. We talked about, we had our live episodes. We talked about kink at Pride. We talked about coming out. We talked about a brief history of LGBTQ plus rights in America. So now we're going to round it out with our respective lists of our top 5 favorite LGBTQ plus things. The criteria is anything we deem, doesn't have to be necessarily gay or whatever, things that we deem are queer and our favorite things. So we're going to run through our lists, give a little brief explanation of why, and yeah, we don't have anything else. I asked Matt what our topic should be. He said he had no idea, so this is all I came up with.
Listen, I had a very eventful weekend, mostly getting drunk all weekend, yeah.
Well, see, 2 out of the 3 of us had a fun weekend. The third didn't. Now I want the listeners to guess who had the fun weekend and who did not.
Jackie, what did we do this weekend?
Yeah,
I had a miserable weekend because I was with Matt all weekend. So it was really bad, you guys. Please consider donating to my crisis fund because it was just so bad.
Jackie's a liar. Jackie's the biggest liar I've ever met.
I've never lied a day in my life.
Oh my god.
Right.
Me and Jackie did like a very fun, I guess you could say mini con at one of our friends' house.
Yeah, we had a little mini convention because, as you know, cons have been shut down and only are now just starting to come back. So we thought, let's just rip this bitch off early and get to it. So we hung out. We had a Just kind of some chill game evenings. We watched some anime and we did a photo shoot on Saturday in outside Philly. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great
Yeah.
time. And I debuted the updates to my Chainsaw Man cosplay, which
Oh,
I'll be posting on
yes.
Instagram soon for any Chainsaw
Mm.
Man fans out there.
Heck yeah. Go check out Jackie's Instagram.
Yeah.
Jackie, plug it because I don't know what it is offhand.
Oh, my Instagram, I have a couple now, but my main account is Jacqueline, JAKQUILLIME. And I also just started a new cosplay account that is King_Jaqueen, JAKWEEN. I'm checking the spelling because I literally just made it. Yeah, JAKWEEN on Instagram. So
I'll also put it in the
Jackie,
description.
yeah.
Jackie, did you see the Chainsaw Man PV?
We stayed up until 2 in the morning to try and watch it, and
Mm.
I can't tell you how excited I am.
Now, I had a question for you really quick. Do you
Hit me.
think that, because obviously the video has exquisite animation, but do we expect that to be the quality of every episode?
So here's actually the good news because someone brought this up at the little con. Mappa also does Jujutsu Kaisen, and that anime is just chef's kiss in terms of animation quality. So I do have high hopes.
Yeah.
And I actually do expect it to really carry a high caliber of quality throughout the series.
Okay, well, work.
Work.
Yeah.
All right, should we talk about gay shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who should go
every
first?
Time,
Matt.
Matt, yeah.
Oh, how are we gonna do this? Do I just say
So-
all of my top 5, or do we rotate?
Oh.
It depends. If you put yours in a specific order, then we can rotate, obviously. But if you just have like a top 5 that you don't have a particular order for, you can just list it.
Okay, well, I have a top 5. I don't know if this is like, I mean, I guess it's kind of in a specific order. Yeah, I'll start at the very bottom of my number 5.
Oh, of course, the bottom, starting
with
from
the
the
bottom.
bottom.
Starting
Yeah.
from the bottom and going right to the top, you know, where it's better. Anyway. No, my number 5, in terms of LGBT media or whatever, are just our top 5 favorite gay things. My number 5 is the TV show on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Sex Education. Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I've seen the first season. I haven't seen the second one.
Well,
Yes.
then I can't say what I was gonna say.
Oh, well, thank God I caught you.
Yes.
I was about to say a big spoiler that I didn't like about it, which I've already talked to Matt about.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know. I mean, if you're going to talk about it, then
Well,
just pop off.
Well, no, because Matt might not bring it up. Matt, why do you
Okay.
like it? Why do you like it? Is it good?
So I definitely liked the first season a lot. I was real into that. And you know, one of the main characters is a, you know, gay POC man. And I was
Yes.
like, finally some representation in like a good show that was funny, and it was, you know, it was great. It was nice, fun and upbeat show for most of it, I'd say. So I was real into it. Second season was also good. I didn't like what happened to the gay character, or I didn't like a certain decision that he made.
Yes.
I don't know, Jackie, how much you know about this.
I don't know anything.
Well, you better watch because watch and become
Yeah.
angry like I did.
Okay.
Yes. I you know, I don't even know. I don't want to spoil it for Jackie, so I'm not gonna talk about it.
No, I mean, if it's integral to you, just spoil me. That's okay. Because who knows when I'll get around to watching it.
Okay, fine. I'll spoil it just for the podcast. Spoilers for Sex
Yeah.
Education if you want to watch it.
It is just one component of the second season, so
Yes.
like you still have lots to love.
Yes. And if you are listening to the podcast, you don't want to spoiler, skip ahead like, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds. The gay character decides to, I guess, start going out with his basically bully, as opposed to another really nice character that he was with for most of the season. And then at the end chooses to be with basically his bully who had abused him, and I was not really about that.
Yeah, I remember that coming up in the first season when where they have detention together or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I have mixed really mixed feelings about this.
Yeah, so I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, do you want to keep going or do you want to rotate?
Let's rotate. How will we do that?
Jackie, do you want to go next?
Ooh, let me look at my list.
Doesn't have to be the bottom, but like if you had to put something at the bottom, you can.
Jackie, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is that the trans flag behind you?
No.
You know what?
A towel.
It's not. It's one of those like woven like blankets, but it is trans colors.
Yeah.
My sister had gotten it for me. And that is actually a great segue for one of my items, which is the freedom flag. I just wanted to really highlight our beautiful, wonderful freedom flag and how much I think it is really just so representative of our community and how much I love seeing it flown, whether it's at conventions or just 12-foot pole on somebody's front lawn. There it is.
I do love a 12-foot pole. Come on now.
Yeah,
I do love 12-foot poles.
I do love poles that also descend into hell, and I love wearing my heels and sliding down to it as I go to see Satan.
Yeah, and then you'd kill him.
Yes. So quick question for you guys. If you cover this in another episode, stop me. But do you know the original colors of the freedom flag and what they stood for? Matt, don't you dare Google.
Whips out Google.
I saw your eyeballs shifting around.
No, I want Jackie to.
I looked up what it looked like so that I could make sure I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. Okay, so the original flag, the colors were pink for sexuality, red for life, orange for healing, which I think is a really interesting choice, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, turquoise for art, indigo for serenity, and violet for spirit. And I just think it's so beautiful and wholesome in ways that do not just apply to being, quote, queer. Like we have nature in there and we have art in there and serenity and healing. I think it's just a beautiful, wholesome piece of art. And I love it.
I think all of those words encompass you, Jackie.
Ah!
Wow.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm blushing.
What a perfect representation of Jackie, the freedom flag.
Wow, that was deep.
That was deep. Thank you, Matthew.
Just like my dick in your pussy. What?
Okay, I'm going to move on to me.
I think I have to go. I think my mom called and said I can't hang out with you guys.
Yeah, she said it's dinner time and I got to get home.
Yeah.
My number 5 is the show How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh.
Specifically the main character, Annalise Keating, because she is a bisexual woman of color. She's, the actress Viola Davis has spoken about how, the character was able to be like, a full-bodied woman, not someone who was like stick thin or what people would classically define as like the beauty standard. So she's not white, she's not thin, she's not blonde, whatever. She's bisexual, and she's given like space to kind of express every emotion. She's like a high-powered woman given her job because she's a lawyer, and just the whole show really just gives her like, she just acts her ass off in the whole show, and I love it.
Viola Davis is just amazing.
She could just fucking kill me.
Yeah.
How to get away with it.
And then she could get away with it.
I did not know that her character was bisexual. I've seen maybe like the first season or 2 of the show, and I did not know. I didn't get to that part where it turns out
she's she's bisexual, and she gets with some ladies, if you know what I mean.
I think I do, and we love to see it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. On websites. Matt, what's your number 4?
Great. So my number 4 is it's 2 books. And they're a little bit older. Well, they're not that old. 2013 is when the first one came out. But Openly Straight and Honestly Ben. I read these 2 books. Yes.
No, go on. Sorry.
I read these 2 books, I think, maybe 2 years ago. And I loved them. They were great. I think out of many of the gay books that I've read, these 2 books are definitely at the top. And basically it's about this gay guy who's been openly gay for like his whole life. And then he goes off to college and he's like, okay, like I want to try to like not make my sexuality clear to everyone and not be like the token quote unquote gay kid at college, just so people can know me for me. And then he ends up falling in love with a guy and things go crazy from there. But I thought it was a pretty nice book. So yeah, I do like that book.
That's wonderful.
Jackie.
Oh, let's see. I guess while we're on the topic of media, I did have one extra. I had 6. They're all kind of related. I would say. I would say, you know what? Oh God, I'm so torn. The Legend of Korra. And I would say that because I mentioned this on one of your other episodes of the podcast, but Legend of Korra is the first, I think, queer cartoon character canonically, and I think it's really incredible what that show accomplishes narratively, but also for that reason, and I think it's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, do you know, Jackie, that number 4 is also Legend of Korra for me?
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, same reasons. I loved it. I remember sitting there watching Korra and Asami, spoiler alert, they get together at the end and losing my shit.
Yep.
You love to see it, and all the
We
sequel
love to see it.
comics also explore the relationship.
Yes.
So yeah.
I would say it's number 2 for me, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, Maddie, go on to number 3, baby.
Gotta love the Legend of Korra. Okay, number 3 for me. So this is 2 books again. And we can kind of talk about this a little bit further, but so number 3 for me is the book version of Love, Simon. It's called Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda, and then the sequel book, Leia on the Offbeat, is also really good. It goes further into one of the side characters, I guess you could say, of the first book, Leia. It goes more into her like exploring her bisexuality. So yeah, I really like those 2 books, and then of course Love, Simon, I guess. And I think I've mentioned this in a possibly previous podcast episode, but Love, Simon, while it was like I guess iconic at the time, I think it could have been done a lot better as well. The whole storyline in general. But the book, I think, did a lot better of a job in terms of telling Simon's story in a way that makes sense. And it's not entirely like, the friends aren't being bitches about him being gay or anything in the book.
Right. Yes.
I have not seen the movie, so I'm from that comment, I guess it sounds like they're bitches in the movie about him being gay.
Okay, maybe not so much that, but like
it's more that he withheld the information.
Yeah.
But also like he was kind of a dick because he was being blackmailed. It's a whole thing. Like, it's just a lot. Yeah.
Sometimes when you're gay and you're being blackmailed, some things just slip your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the friends in the movie just should have been more understanding than they were. Like,
that's fair.
Right.
And there's not as much drama in the book around that, I think. So yeah, I did like the books better, and the sequel book about Leia is also very good.
Ooh, Jackie, what is your number 3?
I am going to say that my number 3 is going to be the disco and night scene effect that gay people had on history and culture, and how much gay people really influenced, for one, disco, and the other thing, and how that kind of became like safe havens for all the nightclubs that kind of formed around that, and how much queer people and people of color just really affected dance and the expression of art and all the things that happened around that, like happened in these sweaty little nightclubs with the rainbow floors, and how integral disco was to that. I think it's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I love clubs.
Same. Spoiler, when are we going to the clubs again, guys?
You guys.
Whenever I'm not sick.
Rona.
My number, not Rona. My number 3 is the book They Both Die at the End.
Go ahead, explain.
The book is called They Both Die at the End. And it is honestly like written by a queer author about a gay and bisexual character, or two characters, gay and bisexual. And basically, in this universe, everyone knows when they die because they are basically pinged 24 hours before their death. And they're just told, hey, within 24 hours, it's over. There's no mention of the method. You just know that within 24 hours, you're dead. So there's an app that can actually pair you with other people who've been notified that, hey, they're also dying, or people that want to spend their last day with you to support you. So this guy basically opens up the Grim Reaper's Grinder app and this gay character meets this bisexual character, and it bounces between their perspectives throughout their last night together because both of them are destined to die within 24 hours. And it's about how they basically spend their last day together, going from complete strangers to like intimate, connected boyfriend and boyfriend.
Aww.
And I love it. And it's so sad because the title is accurate. It's not a spoiler. They do both die at the end. And Matt refuses to read it.
I do refuse to read it.
I was gonna say that one sounds challenging because, as you said, they both die at the end.
I just like how there is that trope of killing your gays and killing your queers. And this kind of subverts it by letting you know right off the bat they're both dead.
Right.
And it's funny because the book, you'll get so invested even though you know they both die, but you're so invested in it anyway, just like the characters are invested in their relationships regardless of the fact that they know they're going to die, that by the end of it, they both die and you're like, really? Even though you knew at the beginning.
There it is.
And that is the whole pathos of the book.
Fair.
All right, Matt, your turn.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Matt, please just read it for me and I will read your book.
No, you should read my book because you want to.
You should read this because it's great queer fiction.
Listen, I don't like being sad, and I'm not going to read a book that makes me sad on purpose.
If you can't avoid emotion. You can't. You have to experience it. That's how much like a white man. How much like a white man did he just sound like, yeah, I can. Yeah. I can avoid emotion.
Yes, I can.
What a straight white male thing to say.
Ugh.
Straight white. Don't ever say that to me. Can I just say that Pat's shirt looks skin colored, so he looks like he's not wearing a shirt.
Oh, you know what it actually kind of looks like? It looks like he's wearing a really cute, almost like a little bow tie collar.
Yeah,
collars, and then like the arm cinches too.
Yeah, but this is just my skin. I'm very orange colored.
It's pretty hot.
It's hot in this room. That's why I'm not wearing pants right now.
God bless.
Anyway, my number 2 was The Legend of Korra. I said that already. So I guess we could just keep going around, and Jackie can go next.
Well, I'm torn. So I've actually 3 left, and I'm very torn. I'm thinking one could be Pat's, so I'm going to leave it. And I will say, just in general, public recognition and the strides that have been made in terms of queer culture rights, and also the integration at a large that's been happening within our society. So basically, like I was researching before this podcast, and one of the pages that came up as I was researching was a post from, it was like a university in Wisconsin, and they were literally just talking, it was for international students coming to the US, and it was talking about like, here's things going on with LGBT culture in the US. And I thought it was really incredible that we're now at the point where we have those types of pages for people who are either coming to the US or just for universities in general. I feel like it's a big step to have those sorts of public information pages about queer culture. I thought it was really grand.
Wow.
Very cute. I love it.
People are like also a lot more willing to be open about their sexualities and their genders, and and I think that's great. That people are more comfortable in that now, and it's more societally accepted.
Yes.
Yeah.
We still have a long way to
Amazing.
go, but it is more societally
It's
accepted.
more here. It's more
Yeah.
here for sure.
Right. Well, my number 2 is Yuri on Ice. Which, because I love anime. Anime is integral to my life. And even though fucking they're not canonically gay yet, because, I strive for concrete representation. I recently saw this TikTok where this woman was basically like, we shouldn't expect strict, very overt representations of queer behavior in anime because that's not the standard we hold heterosexual couples to, because heterosexuality in anime can be both subtle and overt. And I was like, that's true, but we can only really attain that when we do have enough overt representation to kind of fill the field or balance the scales.
Right.
So until we have more overt representation, there are obviously genuine examples such as Sailor Moon, but Yuri on Ice just really did it for me. Everything came together. The sports of it all, the beautiful animation, the soundtrack, the characters, and the fact that these are two adults, which I liked because so often you have like the adult and like the childish, or at least portrayed childish version. Even though Yuri is younger than Victor, they are both clearly adults.
Yeah.
And even though he is his teacher, by the end of the show, they're equals because they're both competitors now and no longer in a student-teacher relationship. I think it's wholesome and I love it.
It is
Gay
wholesome.
rights.
Gay rights.
Yes, gay rights.
Okay, Matt, it's time for your number 1.
Number 1. Can
Is
I
it me?
say that? Yes, it's you. No.
Oh.
You guys are all my number 1.
I was gonna say, should hope.
But anyway, what was I gonna say? I had a fun point to say. Oh no, this isn't a fun point to say. I just remembered it. As I was doing looking at the stuff that I want to talk about for this episode, and I was just looking at the different examples of LGBTQ representation in media, in books, in all that jazz, and I realized I was like, people are saying like gays are shoved down your throat nowadays. And just looking through this list,
To do.
Hello, just looking through the list that I was looking through, I'm like, that is absolutely not true. There is still very minimal gay representation across media, and I'm like, who are the people who are saying this? It's the homophobes, obviously. Yeah. There's still very little very little gay representation across all media, and I was like, well, this isn't fun, but
yeah,
spread the gay agenda.
I'm trying to
spread it like my legs. I mean,
hello. Anyway, so my number 1. So I've probably mentioned her plenty of times before, but I watch a gamer YouTuber named Luca Jin. She is bisexual. And she plays a whole bunch of fun games on YouTube. She plays the different Nintendo games, different Mario games, and also games from other genres. And I really like her, and she's really fun to watch. I've been watching her videos for potentially 10 years now at this point, and that's why she's my number 1. She's my number 1.
Aww, I love that.
Well, be sure to tweet at her when this episode goes live,
I will.
She can know she gets a shout out.
Aww.
Yeah,
you met her, Matt, right at PAX?
I met her briefly at MagFest, yeah, and I got a picture.
Oh my god,
So
what a
cool.
stan!
I am
So
a huge
cool.
simp.
Oh, a simp.
That's really nice. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Meat
What about
sucky
you,
sucky
Jackie?
now, mommy.
Meat sucky.
Meat sucky
Mommy's
sucky
milk.
now, mommy. Wow. Well, for all our viewers, I'm sorry. Oh boy,
sorry.
my number 1 thing for LGBTQ stuff, I think it's going to be gay fashion. And I think gay fashion is really incredible, especially where we're at right now, not even just in terms of gay people, but also in terms of gender expression. So now how it's much more common to see either unisex clothing or just, no gender clothing, or seeing people dress up in whatever fucking clothing works for them. And I attribute that to the LGBTQ plus community. And I really love seeing now, I always try to keep an eye out for when I'm shopping for clothes for any companies that are having unisex or non-gendered clothing. I think it's really great. And like the one that I know that's doing it right now is Old Navy, and I know there's other ones, but there's even companies now where you can just shop for clothes, or they'll tailor the clothes for you, and it's not about gender, it's just sizing. Much like a Stitch Fix, but with no gender stuff. And I think it's really incredible, and in part I think I attribute that to like RuPaul's Drag Race and uh, the representation that we have on mainstream television with people dressing up, either cross-dressing or just being totally artistic with fashion. I think it's great, and I love to see it.
I love to see it.
I love it.
And
nice. Go for it, Matt. Go for it.
I was gonna say, kind of bouncing off of that real quick, because I completely forgot to put him on my list. But Little Nas X, like boy,
Too late now, bitch.
it's too late.
He's your six.
He's my six. Yeah, he gets a nice shout out. Especially, did you guys see his performance on Black Entertainment TV?
No,
I watched him make out with that man.
It was very fun, and he wore like this massive dress to the show, and people were making jokes that he had like a TV shoved under there, and it was him stealing it from Walmart.
Stop.
Well, during his performance, he was dressed like a pharaoh, and it was very like Egyptian themed, and he was like a king basically. I loved it. I think it was. He looked hot, obviously.
Yeah. Iconic.
His abs are really well defined, and I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, look at that dress.
Obviously jealous of all of his dancers and the one guy that got to make out with him.
Oh, I wish that was me.
Do you think they just have orgies afterwards?
I really
probably,
hope I'm invited to the next one. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Ah.
Ooh, look at this Egyptian thing. Oh. That's hot.
Okay, sorry, Pat. I interrupted your number one. Tell us about your number one.
Oh, no, I was gonna say before that was that I love how, me and you are doing a lot of media stuff, but Jackie's really bringing in like the cultural content, which I liked. There was the freedom flag, there was disco and like dance and clubs, and now there's fashion. Like she's really rounding it all out for us.
Yeah, Jackie.
Here for the arts.
Jackie took the assignment and went above and beyond.
Jackie understood the assignment.
Yes.
I mean, when you guest star on two of your dear friends' podcasts, you got to bring your A game. I'm not fucking around.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was supposed to ask you. Oh.
No, go for it.
I was supposed to ask you, Jackie, to be on the podcast this weekend when I saw you, but I forgot.
Oh my god. I reminded him so many times, like, did you talk to Jackie yet? No. Did you talk to Jackie yet? No. Today, did you talk to Jackie? Fuck, no.
Wow.
But Jackie, don't you love that I thought of you earlier this week? Like when Pat brought the topic to me. When Pat brought this topic to me.
When you texted me and said, do you want to be on our podcast tonight?
When Pat brought this topic to me, I was like, ooh, we should invite Jackie because I feel like she would have some fun input. And then I was like, oh, I forgot to ask.
Pat, you have my number.
I know, I really should have just said it myself. I'm the head of communications. I should have handled it. I'm sorry.
Oh.
You are head of communications, yes.
I am. Last but not least, my number one is the film Your Name Engraved Herein. It is a Taiwanese gay film that came out, I think, last year, and it is right now my favorite queer film that I've ever seen. It is just, I've talked about it before on the podcast, it is just so lovely. It's lovely. Basically the story is you have like these two boys who go to like this Catholic Christian school in Taiwan during it's during one of like their eras where they're having trouble with China, right? I really didn't care for the politics because I was too busy with the gay. But basically it's about one kid developing feelings for the other kid and, their relationship basically developing and how he handles his homosexuality in both as a person of color in an Asian country back in the day when it wasn't accepted. And it's just really like an intimate look. It's very sad at some points, very happy. And it has this great scene where it's not a spoiler alert. Basically, he likes music, so he goes to music school. and he like sings a song over the phone to his love interest for him. And it's such a beautiful song. They covered it in real life. It's lovely. The movie even ends on like a pretty good note, which is good for a gay film. They do not kill their gays in this movie,
They're
thank God.
dead?
Bless.
What?
No, they don't kill their gays.
Oh my
They're both
God.
alive at the end of the film.
I don't know
It's
if it's a gay
wild.
movie then.
Yeah. But it's just so like I remember watching it, I was like, God damn, that was so good. Like so much better than like Call Me by Your Name and Blue is the Warmest Color, which
Don't even get me
were
started on that.
when they first came out, like put on pedestals as great queer films that I think in hindsight aren't that great of queer films. But this, it's on Netflix, so everyone wants to watch it. Your name
just
engraved
saw.
here in. It's in Mandarin, obviously, but you know, that's what you get when you make a film in Taiwan. Taiwan, only Asian country that legalized gay marriage and like gay rights and all that shit, has like a big gay film and media scene now.
Ooh.
So like there's a lot of shit that is going on over there. It's very lit. And all other Asian countries should like take notice. Hint cough China, Japan, Korea,
Busan?
Malaysia.
King of Busan?
King of
What is it? Bhutan?
Yes, the king of Bhutan or Bhutan.
Bhutan. There it is.
Bhutan, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder what
did
happened
he
with
ever,
that.
yeah, did he ever legalize that?
I don't
or is
know.
he committing atrocities, that man? Anyway,
We still don't know.
before we wrap up, I want to just go around and ask one last question. So, you know, end of Pride. Some of us had fun on Pride weekend, some of us did not. But anyway, it's a time to be reflective on, you know, what we have in the queer community, blah, 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 blah. So as opposed to getting all like emotional and deep, I just want to ask if you had to give like an alien one piece of queer content sort of to like introduce them to gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, whatever content, what is the one thing you would do? Or what's the one thing you'd put in a time capsule or on a rocket ship to send up into space to be immortalized as like queer content? Doesn't have to be like a movie for content. It could be anything. It could be like Jackie said, it could be like pieces of gay fashion or the flag or something like that.
I actually have an answer.
What is it? Is it
would
you?
Be... me, bitch. Frozen in cryogenics, ready to unleash a new generation of gay. No, it would actually be, I would encapsulate the experience of going to a queer club and dancing your ass off and having a good time to music.
Oh, you could bottle that up.
Yeah, and I would encapsulate just like the euphoria of dance and expression. Being with your friends. Like, I think it's so integral to queer culture, that sense of freedom and just joy. I think it's so great.
Oh,
wow.
That's so sweet, Matt. How about you?
I think that I would
the cum pipe.
The cum pipe. No. I think that I would bundle like a compilation of really fun gay TikToks, because I think the gay TikTok scene is like really fun. At least most of it is really fun and expressive. So I think I'd like bundle up a compilation of that and send that off and just let the aliens have fun trying to decipher the craziness that is gay TikTok.
I think that's really good. That's really good.
Nice. They would be like, what is this?
What is happening? What?
All they would hear would be like, if I ever did that, I'd smack my ass like a drum. They would just hear that over and over again.
Over and over.
I'm confused. Mine is very similar to Jackie's in that it would be like bottling up a feeling or an emotion. But that feeling, that self-validating feeling where you are like, you know, if you're, let's say you're lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, whatever, strictly speaking on your sexuality, the moment you're like first with someone who like is the same sexuality as you, so like a man, his first time meeting like another gay man and they're having like a moment together, or your first date, or like a meet cute, like where two women who like just like meet and just like that moment of being in public in front of everyone and being the most yourself with someone else who's the same. I
love that.
Kiss.
Wow, your answer was so cute.
I love
both your answers were so cute, and mine was like, I'm just gonna send out some gay TikToks.
Gay TikTok. Good luck.
So Matt, what time are we at right now? What's the recording at?
We are at 40 minutes.
That is perfect.
Can I let me do another insert real quick? We can get it to 45 if we want. Can we talk about Luca real quick?
Oh, yes. I haven't seen it, but I watched the trailer. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen it.
I've seen it. Maybe I shouldn't spoil it for Jackie.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it soon, so.
Yeah, I mean, so while there isn't any explicitly gay shit in the movie,
they're not pegging each other.
No, no. There's nothing overtly gay. Like Pat said, it's not like concrete, this is gay. But I think the movie is like so fruity, though, as the gay TikTokers would say. It is very fruity. And also, like, the movie could be metaphorically, like, you can metaphorically tie it to the experience of coming out, which I think is also really fun. And even though, like, the people who wrote the movie were like, we're not trying to make this an LGBTQ thing, I think it's definitely an allegory for it. What do you think of that? Gay.
Yeah, like, me and John were talking about this a lot, and I was like, John, do you think this is gonna be like Pixar's first gay film? And he's like, no, it's all gonna be metaphor for it. I'm like, I know, and it's really upsetting. Like, I think the movie's great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a fun Pixar film. Like, I love Italy. When I went to the Cinque Terre, which is like the seaside cities, it's very much that vibe. Very cute. Definitely has those queer vibes to it. I love the entire thing. But when it comes down to like what I really wanted to see, it just wasn't what I wanted to see. Because it's kind of like a lot of people would be like you said before, they're just like shoving gay stuff down our throat. It's like, no, we just strive for representation across the media. And the one thing we haven't really seen from Disney and Pixar is a big animated film with the main character, or one of the main characters being LGBTQ+. So I was like, I love it. It's cute. And when it ended, I was like, oh, my heart, like emotions. It's so lovely. But then at the same time, I was like, God, I wish they were just fucking each other under the ocean.
Hello?
I
just wanted them to kiss at the end. That's what I wanted.
Oh. My take, I completely agree with that. I personally feel like I can't wait to see this, and I think as a LGBTQ, I'm already labeling it LGBTQ plus media. I would rather have this than like blue is the warmest color. I am hugely not a fan of blue is the warmest color, which is a whole different subject. But I would rather, for me, not that it makes it right or better, but I'm okay in this scenario seeing something that's metaphorical, versus if I could erase blue as the warmest color from my mind, from the universe, I would.
What is this? What is blue as a warmest color?
Blue as the warmest color is
you should just watch it, honestly.
Yeah, it's a French film that is an adaptation of a graphic novel by the same name. The plots start the same and they diverge quite a bit. The endings are very different across the two. Yeah, and that's all I'll say.
I mean, we should watch it together, and you should do like a live react to it.
Well, yes, let's do like a live stream of watching Blue is the warmest color.
I mean, if it's bad, like, do I want to watch it?
It's not executed poorly. I think it is good for people of the LGBTQ plus community to maybe know about it or like see it, have an awareness of it. And I think you'd have some opinions that would be really fun to observe, and I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that later.
Yes. But also I do want them to kiss in Luca. Like, obviously.
Well, does anyone else have any final remarks?
No, I think I just wanted to bring up Luca, and that was my final remark.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. As you know, this is the What Do the Gays Think podcast. It is on all podcasting platforms. It's also on YouTube, so you can follow us there, like, subscribe, comment. We have a Twitter, WDTGT Podcast, where you can follow for all of our updates. We usually post on Tuesdays, but not this week, obviously. We also stream on Twitch somewhat inconsistently at What Do the Gamers, GAYMERS, think. Follow us there for some spooky times, for some other times. Mostly it's just spooky, but sometimes it's gun game and things like that. And yes, we were joined today by it's just incomprehensible in a good way, incomprehensible, just queen, Jackie. Jackie, quickly
Oh,
plug.
oh my
Plug
God.
your things. Where
Well,
can people find you,
Well,
Jackie?
quickly, because I'm blushing. So you can find me on Instagram at Jacqueline. You can go back at the beginning for the spelling of that on Instagram. And you can also find me on Twitch, and I also stream spooky stuff and art stuff and a variety of other content. And my Twitch username is at Jackie_the_bananas. And follow me for a good time and good laughs with Matt and Pax. We frequently stream together.
He's
Sexy
here for a
times.
good time, but not a long time.
That's right.
And of course, my other co-host Matt, which you can follow in the same things you can follow me as. So, Matt, do you want to sign us out?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for listening. And I am a gay sea monster.
And I'm Meat Sucky Sucky Now, Mommy. Mommy's
Mommy's milk.
Wow. Well, I'm here at the disco and I want nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Stay gay, everyone.
Stay gay.
Happy Pride.
Happy
Goodbye,
Pride.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.